Yeah. Buenos
I'm Dave Burley. I'm a professor of archaeology at Simon-Frazer University in Burnaby, British Columbia in Canada. For the last 15 years, my research in Tonga has been looking at Lapita sites. Lapita is a term that comes from New Caledonia, where the first archaeological remains for settlement in the Pacific were documented in the 1950s. And it refers to a distinctive type of pottery that has both interesting motifs, but was decorated with a particular type of tool, a small comb that makes almost like tattoo designs on the surface of the pottery. We can track it because of these designs and the way it's decorated all the way across the Pacific out to Fiji and Tonga, where the migration ends for about 1,000 years before people move on to eastern Polynesia. In Fiji, there's about 6-7 sites with good assemblages of Lapita pottery. The earliest of those dates to 3,050 years ago. In October and November, I came with the staff of the Fiji Museum to begin surveying and looking for these sites here. Unfortunately, we were able to accidentally find the site, a Lapita site here on Vorovoro. We first came to Vorovoro to present Sevu Sevu to the Tui Mali because we had initially wanted to go to Mali Island to survey there, and while waiting for Francis to prepare tea, I came wandering back into the cassava garden here, and there was what we were looking for on the surface. The goals this year were quite limited. I simply wanted, when we came and found the pottery, we didn't have time to do any excavations or see how deep the material was or how dispersed it was. So I wanted to come back and just simply get a good understanding of how widespread, how big the site is, how deep it is, what kind of materials in it, what we call stratigraphy, how the later sediments are laid down on top of it, and also get samples, charcoal samples for radiocarbon dating. And in all of that respect, it's been successful. We've found a number of different things. Of course, Lapita pottery, which is quite distinctive and quite interesting and quite unique in terms of Fijian ceramic history. It's the earliest and probably the most elaborate and best built pottery that occurs in Fiji. Looking at the ceramic designs that we see here, I'm guessing that the settlement of Vorovoro, the small settlement of Vorovoro, probably dates between 2,950 and 3,000 years ago. Around 2,000 years ago, a lot of the pottery that we find, the dominant type that we find in the gardens here, dates to about 2,000 years ago. So there was a fairly large settlement 2,000 years ago. In addition to pottery, we've been able to find turtle bone, fish bone, shell beads, small shell bracelet bits, a lot of stone tools. Of course, the shells that are left over from shellfish exploitation off the reef, and sort of a general range of things that we typically find in these sites. This appears to be, as I said earlier, a very early type of Lapita pottery, so I'm assuming it's amongst the first settlements in Fiji. I don't believe it's as early as the site of Vorovoro in western Fiji, but it's very close in time. It's an interesting site by comparison to most other Lapita sites. Vorovoro has no fresh water, which is not unique amongst Lapita sites, but there's very little agricultural soil. There's virtually nothing here for people to live off of. And when you have an empty landscape, why people would choose Vorovoro is a bit of a mystery. But they did.